Yes. Why? I am. I don't know. Hang on. The negative entities punched me. Okay. No thing. Okay. All right. So, okay. Lucas wants to know why he's hyper-salivating. Okay. All right. Now. Okay. So, now I'm going YouTube. Where is YouTube? Okay. I'm on here. Okay. Where is everybody? Live chat. Oh, there we go. Sharon Earth Angel. Okay, I got somebody. Hello.
We on?
Well, I don't know. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Okay. Y'all hear me, right? Tell me if you hear me, people. But I'm not supposed to be participating as Atlanta Scalar. The heck? Oh, wait. Hang on. Oh, hang on, guys. Switch accounts. Why does it do this? There we go. Channeling Eric. Hello. Now I think we have it. Yes. Well, y'all hear me? Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Okay. Y'all hear me, right? Tell me if you hear me, people.
Ooh, where's the feedback? We got feedback.
Oh, really? I know. Okay. Wait a minute. What happened? Oh God. Why? Okay.
Ooh, here comes the energy. All coming in.
Okay. Now it disappeared. Okay. Your channel. Go live. Come on. Go live. Okay.
Okay, we're live. I can see us.
Now it disappeared. Okay. Here we go. Now. Why does they have to make it so complicated? Really? It's so stupid.
No kidding.
All right. But okay, so can you see any, because I don't see any
I see the chat going. Because I see, yes, I'm here. Hey all, we see you. Hello.
Why don't I see it? It's bullshit. I did, and then it disappeared on me. Okay. Like black, whatever. All right, so who cares? We got it. We will try our best, and now it's disappeared. Where's my chat? God dang it. All right, so let's just get started.
Okay.
I can't now. I see, but it's all grayed out. The whatever. All right, so welcome to another YouTube live. Look what happened. All right, I've got some explaining to do. Freaking happy freaking birthday, Elisa.
I was gonna say happy birthday to you. Now tell us what happened to your eye.
Well, okay, we are digging up the backyard because we're putting in some deck or whatever. And apparently it's on an ancient burial ground. And, you know, we have earthbound spirits, one that committed suicide, a girl, and one that, you know, died of natural causes. We have Indian, Native American skirmishes and just, you know, sacrifices and all that stuff. So once we start digging that up, it's just, everything is so awful in the scalar field. I mean, they will take something, is taking my dowsing rod, grabbing it, shaking it and stuff. And one just pinched me in the eye and it's caused me the black eye. It's just been awful. I've been to the point of tears trying to go from one frequency to the next. What should have taken, you know, 6 hours to, well, I'm not even finished yet. It's just
Did you
awful.
feel that? Did you feel the physical?
Yes.
Yeah, wow. Geez.
So it's just really bad. Okay, wait a minute. Stop. View stream on live. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, that's
it's been
a reminder for people not to mess. That's like a reminder, guys. You don't mess with this stuff until you know what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, but so now I've got to put tourmaline rocks all through there before they cement it up. And Papa's out there doing the 4096 tone, and then he's got a smudge with sage, and then he's going to do Palo Santo, and then he's going to do the 528. But it's just, I did the scalar, the portal work on it, but that takes a while for it to be sealed and for the earthbound spirits to go into the light and all that stuff. And it's just been awful since then. Terrible.
Jeez. What a week.
It's been really bad since they did this. It's not worth having a new deck, frankly. But anyway, who cares? Let's go on with this. Michelle Gray at thehealing-art.com. And
yay.
All right, so let me see. We'll start up. You want to just go ahead and hi, Eric. How are you doing? Hey,
Erik says hi, Mom.
Tell me, what the hell's going on here? Why is the divine team letting this shit happen to me?
He says
good is supposed to be more powerful than evil. I don't understand why it happens.
He says it is, but he says you're also shifting vibrationally. And so he says it's like things came up, things that had been pushed down deep into the ground that came all up. And he says, and good does always go over evil. But sometimes he says to get to that place, there has to be, he goes, like everything, you work through it. You work through this little patch. And he says, this will clear itself. But he also says, Mom, you're raising vibration and you're growing. And he says, and don't think that that isn't part of the entities and the energies that are there. Like, we don't want you to get any stronger. We don't want you to get any bigger. We don't want you to grow. You're doing too much and we want to do this. So it was a little test. It's a test, but it's also, he says, it's the test of faith, because he goes, that they can't have that. No.
Yeah, because things went faster because I bought copper sheeting because you told me to go faster. So I lowered a bunch of prices, and then this is like going on and making things much worse, but it'll pass, whatever.
He says it will pass. And he also says, you'll notice that once you go through this, he goes, it's going to be stronger than it was before.
Okay, well, whatever, I'll take anything. It's just like, it's so awful.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I was thinking is, in 2003, that's when we dug up our backyard to put in the pool. Mm-hmm. And that is about the same time that Erik started having trouble. So I'm wondering if that had something to do with it. The negative entities hounding him and whatever was dug up from that. Oh God.
He says, yes, that does play part in it. And he's also saying that if we look at this, he goes, let's just take a second to look at this from another perspective too. He goes, let's look at it from the spiritual perspective and see that there's a cycle that's ending here. And he goes, and part of this cycle is this work being done, he says, is very timely because it's a release of what's left in there to be closed off and done forever for good. It'll no longer be on that property. And he's also aligning it with our universal energy right now with the moon phase, because we're coming right up on a very strong moon.
Okay.
And so he says that there's like a fabric to this, like it's all happening for a reason right at this time. So he said this is a big cycle ender. So he says, Mom, you're going to see that you're going to catapult after this one. He goes, it's part of the pattern.
I'll probably catapult and fall on top of my head, but this is how much I love you guys. Okay. All right. Anyway, so
he says it's your beauty mark.
You're right. Let's look for questions. Enough of me. Okay. Spring, Texas. Yes. Is that a black eye? Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Happy birthday. Okay. Hang on. Where's the questions, people? Oh, Erik loves you too.
He does. He loves everybody. And he's okay. So while we're getting our questions up, and he's just saying, everybody take your heart energy and power it all up. He goes, power it up to Mama. He goes, send her all that love, all that birthday love. He goes, send that energy out to each other. No spankings. That's right.
Spank me. I probably deserve it.
He says, join the heart energy together. He says, so we're creating a really beautiful space with each other to spend this time answering questions. And he says, and don't forget, he says, whether you're listening to the replay or whether you're here live, a message comes out. He goes, if it resonates with you, it's for you too. It's not always just for the one person.
All right, good. And you guys, if you have questions, please do your first name, and if you can, your last initial. Anyway, Terry, maybe her last name is Bullock, but the handle is Tony Bullock. Does Spirit have anything to tell me?
So what Erik is saying is that he said that you've got a couple guides that are working with you right now that are helping you bring out, he says, talent that's in your back pocket. So if there's something that you're suppressing, and he says something that you're holding back that has benefit to the world right now, and he says, you know what this is. He says, you've got some gut feelings inside of where you want to be or what you want to push ahead and do. And he says, keep in mind that, you have these thoughts and these ideas that are running through your head that you may think that there's no way that that's really something that I can do in this lifetime, or I don't know how that would possibly happen. And he says, that's being dropped in your awareness for a reason. And so he says, pay attention to all those little signs, to those thoughts that you have, because he says this is a time for you to grow.
Interesting. All right, Jamie S. Why is it hard for me to remember certain things? Welcome to my party.
Well, he says, first of all, he goes, you have a lot going on. But you also, he says, you're very sensitive to energy. And so you can become easily distracted at times. He said that grounding yourself would help with that, because he says it's not really your memory. There's nothing wrong with your memory. He says it has to do with your mind and how you categorize information. He says if you start grounding yourself, and he says, and hey, there's nothing wrong with writing a few things down and putting some, like unloading the brain, unloading the mind, and just putting down what you need to remember or what's important, and then clearing open some of that space.
That's
Because
what I
he
do.
says that you, and I do too. And he says that that's just it's following what's best for you. And he says, so don't feel like there's something wrong with you. It's just more or less working with how you are.
Awesome. All right. Diana wants to know, Diana C wants to know, well, Carrillo's here for everybody to see, so I guess we could say that. What is the humming I hear all the time? That's almost always spirit or aliens, isn't it? I don't know. What is it?
Okay, the humming. He's actually giving me a vibration. I can feel it just to my right ear and to the back a little bit. It's more like a buzzing is how I'm feeling it, but he says that this is your guardian angel.
Ooh.
Guardian angel that's coming to speak to you. He says you also do have ET energy. There's a Palladian that's around you that is connected to your healing, or to the healing ability or the healing path that you're on right now. He says to just pay attention to what your thoughts are or what's going on at the time that you get that buzzing. He says it's nothing physical, it's metaphysical.
Cool. So is that sometimes it's the Pleiadian, an ET or spirit uploading information to your subconscious or higher self or
Yes.
something like that?
Yes.
Is it, you call it upload or download? I guess upload.
Erik says doesn't really matter. It's both
Okay.
kind of saying
You
the
know what
same
I'm talking
thing.
about. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah. Jackie Messenger. Happy birthday. Thank you. Wondering if there are any messages from my dad. He recently passed away and I miss him terribly. I don't know. Do you need his first name? Y'all, if y'all want to talk to loved ones, you probably need to.
Yeah, first name would be really helpful if we
Yes.
got that, but we'll see what we can get in here.
Jackie Messenger.
Well, he's coming around sending you birds. First thing I'm being shown is birds, anything in nature to communicate with you and to let you know that he's doing well. The first thing that Erik is saying to me is that there's peace and no pain, and that the transition process was very smooth. So I don't know if he had an illness or had some difficulty right at the end of his life, but it's a very smooth transition. Do pay attention to birds and nature, and not always just birds that are coming up to your window, but if you see a bird in a picture or you see repeating of the same type of bird, pay attention to that, because there's messages coming in for you. He's also communicating with you. Either you've already had a dream with him or you're going to have some dreams with him, because he's looking at communicating with you. He is resting, but he's also quite anxious to be able to let you know that he's doing well and that you can hear him, and you do have the ability to hear spirit.
Wow. All right. Deborah D. Does my father Dean have any message for the family? He passed in November and we're all lost without him. Oh.
He's just saying that, it's okay to go ahead and change things. If there's some change that's being contemplated in the family right now, and that there's some fear of, or just some discomfort of, we don't want to change that, or if there's a car being sold or something that he may have had some attachment to that's being changed, he's just saying that it's okay to go ahead and change that you have my blessing. Um, there's also a dog that he's showing. He's got a dog with him,
Oh,
letting you know that, um, it might be somebody else's dog. It might not have necessarily been his dog. It might have been somebody else's in the family. So he's giving the message of, I've got the dog. The dog is safe with me. Um, Pay attention to your flicking lights as well, because I guess there's a porch light. He's showing me an outdoor light that will flick or have the light bulb burn out, and that's him. That's his energy.
oh,
Man, he sends his love.
that's awesome. All right, somebody says, "Happy birthday, you're an Aries." Actually, I'm right on the cusp. I'm one of the cuspers. It's actually one of the most powerful cusps, the Taurus Aries cusp. I don't know what that means, but anyway, I won't get a big head about it. All right, so, um, okay, uh, Rondak Apalategul. Sorry. Hi, Eric. My son Guy took his life 3 years ago. Does he have any messages for me? That's from Rondak, his mother.
Mom, I love you. I see you. I hear you. I'm around you. I've laid down beside you. And he's showing me, to comfort your tears, to let you know that I'm okay,
Oh,
to let you know that you're going to be okay. He wants you to know that he maybe enjoyed the beach or water or outdoors, because he's showing himself with a sunset, with sand, with being outside, saying that it's very peaceful and that he's at peace. He has a lot of freedom within him, and he wants to help give you the gift of freedom as well.
can he start communicating in a certain way with her? And if so, what kind of communication means would he like to use? And Eric, you can help teach him because you're so good at it. If he needs it, maybe he doesn't. I don't know.
Erik says he's already helping him. He says that,
Oh,
they came in together. So Erik brought him in tonight to give
wow.
this message. Erik says that, smells, and Erik says not necessarily Erik smells,
Well, please
but
no.
but smells like, his clothes may have had a certain smell, or he wore, a cologne or a certain scent, because I'm getting a signature scent. So any kind of smells that you may have. There's also, he's saying the scent of flowers for you. And so if you get a sudden rush of like smells like lilies, smells like lilies that he's giving me right now, or like a fresh scent, a floral scent, that's for you from him. That's
Cool.
him giving you flowers. So when you smell that and you're sitting somewhere where there's no flowers, it's not, you have nothing around you, that's what it could be. He's saying that that's him. Pay attention to that. He's also saying that he wants you to sit down and speak to him and write out what you're getting, to practice writing with him, because, and Erik is agreeing that this is a really easy communication for you with practice, to keep practicing with it. And he says that goes for anyone, that writing is a really good way to do it. It helps sometimes remove those filters when we can just write without thought, but it does take
Yeah.
practice to do it.
Yeah.
So, he says, Mom, please sit down and write out how you feel, and you're going to get images. So think when you're doing that, he's he's right there and he's giving you that information. So the memories, the flashes, when you have an intention that you're sitting down with your son and you're talking or you're expressing your feelings, everything that comes into your awareness in that special moment and that space that's created for that is coming from your son. So trust that.
Hey, tell Michelle to stop texting. Sorry. It was happy birthday text, but whatever. I can't. All right, ding, 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 ding. It's really weird. Last night, twice, I woke up to this very very strong perfume scent, like very floral. It wasn't anything my mother wore or would even wear, but it was very like old ladyish, very powerful. Eric, who? But that was something, right? I mean, it's like I'm awake, I'm smelling this. What the hell? So
Uh-huh.
what?
That's interesting because you said mother. Eric said grandmother.
Oh, was it my abuelita?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's what I got from the scatter field. Wow. What was she trying to say? Abuelita, Rita Barajer. What were you trying to tell me? Or anything?
Protecting you,
Oh,
watching over you, wants
oh,
to let you know that she's there. And she's very proud of you, very proud of your work.
oh, that's
It's also your birthday.
oh, well, that's true. A birthday gift. Oh, that's awesome. All right, I shouldn't take up this time because no. Aqua Puff. Oh yeah, this is cool. Chantel McKay wants to know, was that you with the carbon monoxide detector, Eric? Sounds like right up his alley, but it doesn't have to be. It could be one of your guides or loved one.
Eric says, "Of course you know it's me." He
Oh,
says,
see, you
"Yes, that's
knew.
me. Yes, that's me."
Is there any message along with that? Like y'all are all going to die of carbon monoxide poisoning? No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
he goes, "Yeah, pay attention. Pay attention." He goes, "Yep, I'm here. I hear you. I'm here."
And
Mhm.
that's the message. It's not that there's a carbon monoxide poison thing going on.
No. He says
And
it's
I was
it's
just kind of kidding, but
yeah,
it wasn't very
it must have been beeping or something because like a really annoying sound that it was giving or something
annoying
because
equal Eric. Yes.
yeah, yeah,
I love
because
you, Eric.
that's a trademark Eric.
Yes. Oh. Ah, okay. Thank you for coming through with my reading with Veronica on Sunday. Awesome. Oh, Brenda Springer, how can my health improve? Eric and Michelle. Ah,
Mhm.
what happened?
Well, Eric says, so getting like lack of energy. Um, Eric said that you could some grounding would help. He also says to use some Epsom salts, whether in your bathtub, in the bath, submerging yourself in the bath, or also just at the bottom of the shower. He says that's one thing that you can do. But he's talking about increasing your vitamins, so you're not getting a good amount of vitamin from your food. So I don't know if there's not a good selection in what you're eating, but he's talking about eating for energy. So, eating for what your body craves. Pay attention to your diet and pay attention to when you're eating. And he says he's showing more colors of the rainbow, more colors there. He also says there's some emotional imbalance there. So he's going into your solar plexus and your sacral chakra and right down to the root. So he says there's some emotions that are connected to your family and to you being younger. And he says if you link some of the emotions that have been coming up over this past year, he says go back into your childhood or just in not young childhood, but more around between 10 and 12 years old. And he says, and look at to some of the feelings that you had then, because some of those emotions are coming up and rising and they're coming out physically.
Wow. Okay, just going to go through these, and Eric's going to guide me into which to pick.
Mm-hmm.
Angie Mancuso, can you ask if my mom is mad at me? Is your mom alive or well? It doesn't make a difference. Just
No, Eric said not mad. Um, there must have been an expression of disappointment. Um, just trying to feel if her energy is crossed. Yes. Yeah, I am getting that her energy is crossed, but I'm getting that there's whatever happened at the end of her life or something that you feel that she's done that she would be angry. You're taking it on as disappointment. And what Eric is answering is no, no, she's not. And he says to really look at what's creating that for you, because I get encouragement. I get love and encouragement for you.
oh, that's good. All right, Lucy Fur. Luciefur TV. Would like to know if I have a negative entity attached to me. I don't really have a name, but maybe you can pick up on that handle. What do you think?
You've got an earthbound spirit with you. I have a friend of mine that calls them hitchhikers. And I don't know if you're going through some depression or just some of your feelings that you've been feeling over the last little while, but this energy seems to be quite attached to you. Um, Not picked up in your home, picked up outside of your location. I can see this energy. It's a male. It's an older male. Energy. This okay. Erik is saying had an issue with alcohol, and it's hanging around you. I don't know if you're having a little bit of wreaking havoc around you, but Erik says not dangerous, but you do need to express a boundary. He says that you can relieve yourself of this spirit by, first of all, expressing, taking control of your auric field in your home and asking him to leave, addressing that you do know that he's there, that you're aware, you know that he's there, and telling him that he has to go. You can ask your guides. Erik says you can call on him to help him turn to the light or go to the light.
Good.
It would also be really beneficial for you to use Palo Santo and do a clearing, just to kind of clear up some of that energy for yourself. And Erik says to repeat that every 6 weeks for the next little while.
Okay. All right. So, Emma K, can autism be caused by negative entities? By the way, we're testing autism cure on Atlantic Scalar, so stay tuned for that. I can't offer it yet, and I got to make sure it works because if it don't work, I'm not going to offer it. So, okay, yeah. So, what do you think?
Erik says, good question. That's a really good question. And he says, not caused by negative entities, but negative entities can feed off of it. So he
And
says,
aggravate.
remember, yes, and aggravate it, because he says you have to look at what the circumstances are. And so, this can, if the circumstance is that there's a lot of frustration, that there's a lot of lower vibration energy, he says if the individual is having a difficult time where there's some sense of an opening either in them or in the environment and with the family or caregivers around them, then that is very much a possibility. If you're concerned that that's going on, Erik says that that would be a really great time to contact us at Atlantic Scalar and get that removed.
Okay. By the way, I found out we can remove implants. Who knew? Okay. Um, Katarina Maria. Hello, Mrs. Medhus and Erik. Can you tell me what's wrong with my body right now? Because I feel like the doctor is maybe wrong in this diagnosis that I got today. Well, they're often are. Okay. So, yeah, what's going on with her? And can we fix it, Erik, you and me and the divine team?
Erik is saying autoimmune or inflammation in the body, that there's inflammation. There's also something in the digestive system. He's bringing me right directly into the stomach area or in the digestive system. Erik's saying that medication is a band-aid for it. So if you've been prescribed medication or some sort of a therapy, it would be a band-aid for it. He says that what you have is directly caused by trauma. And he says, and remember, trauma doesn't necessarily have to be a description of exactly what that is based on what you think other people experience with trauma. Trauma is something that affected you in a, because he's just saying that there's some things that have happened to you that you may not think of as trauma, is what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
So he says, don't discount things that you've been through, because he says it's stored up into the body. He said that it would be very beneficial for you. You do very well to have your energy balanced. Energy healer, scalar work would be beneficial for you as well, because you've got open portal in your body.
Yeah. Well, maybe start out with the healing recommendations on
Mhm,
a scalar, because you might need a healer like Michelle too. I
mhm,
mean,
mhm,
that's possible.
mhm.
Okay. Uh, Sarah Gonzalez, is Erik here with me? If you want him to be, he will be.
He is there with you, and in fact, he's right on your right hand side
Wow.
right now. So you might feel a little bit of tingling because he's touching you. He's touching you right on your head. Hmm.
That's so cool.
Right there.
Can you ask Erik if I will ever get rid of my health problem that's bugging me all the time, or if he has a message for me? I'm Gabriel from Romania. I want to see Romania. I hear it's beautiful, but go ahead.
Well, he says, "Will you ever get rid of your health problem?" He goes, "Yes." He goes, "You can get rid of it." He says, "But the first thing you need to do is," he says, "you need to, the issue is how you relate to the issue." So he says, how you're relating to what's going on with you right now needs to shift. And he says, "So how do you shift that?" He goes, "Well, think about think about how it is that you speak about your health." Because he says there's a really strong vibration that's subconscious that says every day, "I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick,"
Mhm.
and repeats that story. And he says,
Yeah.
so what's happening is, he says, you're living in that story every day. And he says, and it's easy to do. We get into these patterns where we, live in these stories, and we tell ourselves that our illness is who we are, or that's our identity. So he says, I want to give you something to think about. He goes, who are you without the illness? Who are you without the health issues? He says, and what does the illness provide for you? Because
Mhm.
sometimes, he goes, until we really think about it, he
Yeah.
goes, having an illness provides things in our life that we don't really understand until we start to really look at it. So he says, do a little bit of self investigating and ask yourself those questions. And he says, and you're going to start to feel a little bit of an energy shift just by doing that right there. And that's going to start you on your way to start feeling better.
Can you help him, Erik? And
He says,
help it.
I'm happy to.
Oh,
Happy to. I'm happy to direct you. He says, pay attention to the
good.
prompts that you get, follow the breadcrumbs.
All right, this is really a heartbreaker. Sharon Earth Angel, Eric's Army. Is the baby I had at 16 happy in heaven? And was it a boy or a girl? The doctors wouldn't um, let me see the body, so I've gone through 30 years of not knowing. How awful.
Boy, Erik says, boy. Hmm. He also says, like, Eric's expressing um, his heart to you, his compassion to you, in
Oh,
saying that, like, the doctors thought they were doing something that was right in their mind, that it was like, avoiding more pain for you. It was just
yeah,
the way that they did it.
yeah.
Um, so, but he understands that that's something that you've carried, that you've never felt that you've had closure. So he wants to first of all let you know that your son has been with you all this time. Your son's been around you all this time.
Oh,
He says, I don't know if you've seen a light out of the corner of your eye in your bedroom at night, but what Eric's showing me right now is darkness, and just out of the corner of the eye, it's like you see a flash or you see a light, and that's your son. And he likes to come to you before you go to bed, and when you're in your bedroom, when things are quiet, is when he'll come to you the most. Um, he's like he's a guide, yes, but he's also like an angel. He has a very wise vibration, and Erik said that he's not going to come back into this lifetime, but he will be joining you in another lifetime.
so was his death part of some spiritual contract?
Yes. He says the experience wasn't so much of your son's experience, it was like a volunteer position that he made. But there, if there's been guilt that you've carried, it was for you to release carrying guilt of other people's, and carrying responsibility that is not your own to carry, and to accept adversity, to accept that adversity is what gives you the power to grow, and also the power to stand in your truth, because you are an earth angel and you have a very strong healing ability and passion for other people. And so he's saying that this period of time is giving you an opportunity to stand in your truth in more power. And he says it's an opportunity also for you to release any regret or any responsibility that you may feel that you participated in, because he says none of that was your fault. It was the adversity in your life and what was part of the path that you walked through, part of
Yes.
what was created before you came into this life.
Yes. Earth angels typically come in with a much higher vibration by design, and they put a lot of crap on their plate for the incarnation they come into. And this death was probably one of those adversities that you both of you mutually agreed upon to make you stronger, etc. But then you have to learn, hopefully learn or incorporate the lesson in your life to get rid of guilt and get rid of the responsibility for things that are out of your control. And I think maybe that's a lesson that he wanted you to learn and wants you to learn, and and you can learn it. Is that true?
Yes, that's very true. And Erik says that there's quite a beautiful shift in releasing right now, because he says there's and he's calling it a beautiful emotional release for you right now. So if you have tears that are coming up, he says allow them to flow, because in this release you're going to feel a sense of euphoric power. And so he says what that is that's you changing vibration, that's you
Wow.
shifting into a new vibration. So he says receive it, accept it with open arms, and see where it takes you.
Wow. Okay, Chewy, why did my brother Matt commit suicide? Cat. I think her name is Cat. Yeah. So
Erik says being trapped in pain, mental anguish, not seeing a way out. So what he's showing me is like being inside of a cage, not being able to see in any direction. There's also some personal expectation, because this isn't the responsibility of anybody else, but there was some personal expectation. There's previous pain also from a relationship that was carried. And I don't know if this is when this took place, but there's a sense of healing, because Erik is saying peace, that there's peace, but there's also healing that's taking place. But I feel it's connected to those on earth that are still healing through this, through acceptance. This was not necessarily a contract, but this was an exit point that was taken.
okay. Jessica Thyr. Hi, Erik. Can you tell me what's going on with my brother Joshua's abdomen? Sorry, if anybody came to the party late, this is because I got in a fight in a bar. Oh no, it was alligator wrestling. I don't know. Negative.
I like the alligator wrestling.
Yeah, I like that too. Can you see me alligator wrestling? I'll do anything for alligator purse. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
Let me repeat it. Jessica Thyr, Thyr.
And what was the brother's name?
Joshua.
Joshua.
Abdomen.
There's another one we can see some inflammation in there. So Erik's just showing me the inflammation. There's something that's being rejected. What is that, Erik? So I'm getting the sense that there's, because Erik's saying like something being rejected, but there's some pain. So I'm wondering if there's a food allergy or something. Erik says ingested and rejection. and some inflammation.
Like
There's
gluten,
something
lactose, something like that?
that's it's a food and maybe a chemical that is in food. Feels more than gluten. Um, but like there's a swelling. There's some swelling, some inflammation. Um, yeah, he says it's not necessarily lactose, but something that he's eating, something that he doesn't
Okay.
tolerate very
Well,
well
maybe
in
he needs to
food.
just strip it down to a paleo diet for a while or something.
Yeah, Erik says to simplify the diet, and he also says flush, the flush, like even and this may have to be, you know, whether you have a dietitian or somebody that can help do this, but maybe a juice cleanse or something, because Erik's saying like really bring it down and do a flush to flush out any toxins and to slowly rebuild. Um, Erik's also saying to get an allergy testing done.
Well, you know, in scalar energy, we have the allergy relief thing, but we also are coming up with the microbiome optimization for the gut and for the entire body. So maybe that'll help. So stay tuned for that as a possibility. All right. Julie J. My friend Helen has stage 4 cancer. Is there anything I can do for her that I'm not doing? We have the cancer thing on scalar energy, but you know, it can't be too late. You know, that's a problem. But yeah, tell us, Erik, what can we do to help this Helen?
Well, he's just saying, he says you're an amazing support, and he says that your support and your compassion is there's a lot of gratitude that your friend has. He says be careful, and he says, you know, be careful with yourself and with taking responsibility and taking on too much, because to be there for her and to be supportive enough for her, that you want to be able to also take care of yourself. Um, he says, Mom, some scalar energy would help. He says that this isn't necessarily going to give a cure, but give some better quality of life,
Okay.
length of life.
Okay. All right, Tammy Parrish Miller. I've been married 19 years, and my husband Tim started drinking again after years of sobriety. Am I going to have to leave him?
Say that one more time.
Oh, sorry. Oh, where is it? Like Tammy Miller, been married 19 years. Husband Tim started drinking after years of sobriety. Is she going to have to leave him?
Well, no, Erik just said, he says, you know, we're not going to tell you whether leaving him or not is the right thing to do, because that's something that you would have to really feel for yourself, whether it was the right thing to do. But he says, you know, when somebody else takes on upon themselves, whether for any substance with addiction, he says the addiction itself, as you know, takes on a completely different animal of its own. And he says you have to really decide for yourself what you're willing to invest and where your boundaries are, because this is also opportunity for because he says a relapse has a reason for it. He says remember that there's a reason behind the relapse, and there are sometimes things that people don't always tell you, and things that he holds inside, and this isn't for you to fix in him, but to really look at him with compassion, but also look at yourself with compassion and really figure out where your boundaries are, because someone else's relapse, and regardless of how long you've been together, if it's starting to create havoc in your life, you have to make a decision that is for yourself first. So is this something that you're going to have to leave him? He says that's not something I can tell you, because it's also part of what you need to work out and play out with your husband right now. But what I can tell you is that there is an opportunity for healing here.
Okay. Teresa Marie, I drowned as a toddler and was brought back. How does that change my soul contract? Wow, what was that all about? Inquiring minds want to know.
He says that you communicated, like that you went and communicated back to heaven, is how he's saying it. It's like you took a little trip back. He says that was we have exit points, and he says this was an exit point that you had an opportunity to decide whether you were going to stay or go. He says that was something that was decided before you came into this life, that you would be able to say whether you wanted to continue going forward. And he says, and this is connected to your family and to some of the circumstances that came forward afterwards, or after the drowning. He says there's also lessons there for your caregivers and for those around you, for your parents. But he says that upon your returning, and he says you may not remember that. He says you don't remember that, but he says that it was like do you want to do this? Do you want to keep going with this? Is this something that you want to continue on with? And your soul said, yes, I'm good with this. And back you came. And he says, and this is something that happens sometimes when a soul comes into the life, and sometimes there's circumstances in that family or circumstances that the individual is going to go through in their life. And once they're in the physical body, they decide whether they've had enough in that lifetime and they want to come back, or whether they want to continue. So he says yours was a continue. He also says that there was abilities that were activated at that time as well.
Ooh.
And he says that you have psychic ability that's quite in tune. And he also says that you're a healer as well.
Pretty cool. It's like me when I was 6 months old. They accidentally overdosed me on nose drops. They're doctors. Why? Well, and so I'm sure that was an exit point, but I don't want to get into it anyway. So
It was.
Yeah. Hi, Eric. Can you? This is from Amber Stegles, maybe. Can you tell me about my twin brother who passed away in the womb, and if he's still around me? Oh, yeah. What was that all about? Contract, etc.
You know, this couldn't have been too far into the pregnancy, because it's very interesting, because Eric's linking this as coming in together as a support for you, like being your support in the womb. But you're connected. It's like two cells being together. He's very much connected to you, and he's actually one of your guides. So there was never any intention of him going forward into life. That it was like coming into the womb with you. Now, what Erik is showing me is that you or your brother, your consciousness, your spirit was not actually in the womb, in the body. And you didn't go into the body until just before birth. And so the two of you were outside the body. He says that's where he had stayed. He stayed in your auric field, and he's part of your guidance.
It's almost like parents that like drop a kid off to kindergarten. Here you go, baby. I'll be here. Just I'll be here when you come back.
That's exactly how Erik says it. He goes, Mom, that's exactly it. It's a very good explanation of it, because it was like support, walking in with support, making sure that you were okay, checking out the joint, Erik says, checking things out. And so, yes, he is with you, and he actually shows himself as a child, not as a baby, but as a child. Blonde hair, very cute, round cheeks. That's how he's presenting himself. And he also represents your inner child as well.
Oh, okay. Anna C. What's going on with my feet? 5 years, no answers from doctors. Assholes. Just kidding. Go ahead. What's going on with her feet?
Erik says that it's like neuropathy or like circulation. I know she has pain in her feet or tingling in her feet, but he says that it's also connected to a past life. You had an amputation,
Ooh,
actually showing from your knees down. Erik says it's like phantom foot.
yeah.
He says that because I guess you've been tested for diabetes, or you were tested, like your sugar or other things were tested, and everything has come back normal. So he says there's some circulation, because he says that you do have a bit of an issue with your circulation, with with yeah, your hands as well. Your hands have some issues with circulation, or when you sleep, you get numb hands or a numb arm. Erik said to correct this, he says you can go to a healer, one that's particularly able to call back your body parts to you in this lifetime. He's saying that Kim Voight can do this.
I
She's
know.
one that,
Yeah, she did that from one of my feet, and Jane McDougall also
okay, yeah,
did that. So
yeah.
Kim Voight is embody-light.com, and Jane McDougall. Can't remember. Wait, Jane at Quantum Healing. Oh God, I can't remember. Oh, you can just email me and find out. But anyway, Kim Boyd has done that. She has a surgical team that will do that, and maybe past life regression to like get over that.
Yeah.
But of course, as a doctor, I'm thinking, okay, B12, folate, ANA, Western Ceterate, and all that stuff. So make sure you get worked up properly. Look up peripheral neuropathy workup, and be your own best advocate. All right, so Shonda Mills, has she communicated with spirit?
Every day.
Wow.
Every day. Don't doubt, Erik says. He says, really don't doubt. He says you have always heard it in your back of your mind. He says you've always heard it as your own voice, and it's been so subtle that it's very easy for you to discount. But he says it's time to not discount it anymore, because you do hear it. Erik says it'll get louder the more that you acknowledge it. So he says when you're getting these answers back, he says they're subtle, and remember, they're coming in your own voice. He says, the one that speaks to you when you say something or you do something and you get that, no, don't do that. He says that's the way it's coming in for you. So you're not hearing it as an audible voice, although you have heard that. And he says, so do not discount the information that's coming into you. And he says, and yes, I do hear you. Yes,
And by the way, I saw somebody who was talking about having Parkinson's. I can't find it now, but we're testing that now. So, and also somebody who has a mother with dementia. We're testing that too. Well, my brother Charles, Kiwi lover. Well, I don't know her name. Beat his liver cancer.
He says that he's got a road ahead of him. He's got a road ahead of him.
Can we help him? Can scalar energy help?
Yes, scalar energy will help. He says for him, it's very important for him to remain optimistic,
Yeah.
and really not entertain fear.
Yeah, fear is the death of everything, I swear. All right, what about me, Emilia Hernandez? I don't know what she's asking, but Emilia, do you have anything for her, Erik, before we close?
Well, first of all, he says, I love you, wink, wink.
Oh, question. Oh.
He's suggesting that you get outside and get some fresh air. He says, get some fresh air and go for a walk, be by yourself in nature. He says, get a little time away. Get a little time away he says, meditation doesn't always come in sitting down and crossing your legs and saying om, but
Um,
it can it can come in just being in nature and walking with yourself, watching water, listening to the birds. He says find some ways to relax yourself and find some ways to be with yourself in the present moment. And he says, and that will really help you going forward.
I feel like she's one of the people that need to like talk to Eric and okay and do automatic writing with him for some reason. I'm getting that.
Yes,
That was good.
he says that'd be a good idea. He goes, we just need to get her little,
Yes.
yeah.
All right. So before we close, and I'd say, Eric, I love you. I love you.
Loves you. He
Show
loves you
great.
too.
I love you.
I
Let
love
me
you
tell
too.
you that you guys need to check her out. She's one of the best mediums, maybe if not the best. Thehealingh-art.com. Okay. Check her out. And also, I want to tell you guys that, I did the hormone optimization on myself. And all of a sudden, I started getting hyperthyroid symptoms like dry hair and hair loss and stuff. Well, my thyroid is way high. Guess why? Because my thyroid is getting better, and now I have to reduce my levothyroxine, like to now. He told me to put it every third day. So that means this shit works. My thyroid is regenerating, man. It's rejuvenating, and I don't need. Eventually, will not need thyroid medication. Oh,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
cut
That's
out
amazing.
the medication, man. Oh God.
Eric just goes, yes, mom. He goes, this shit does work.
I can't believe it. It's crazy. All right, guys, I love you. And until the next live, we should do
Yes,
it more often. Maybe that'd be awesome. I feel like I
yes,
left so many people out.
yes.
Okay, I love y'all.
I
And
love you, everybody.
kick it
Thank
below,
you.
everybody. It's a negative entities did this shit to me while I was working on portal work for a few people.
Knock them out. They're done. They're done.
I need to get back into kickboxing, spiritual kickboxing. All right, love y'all.
Love you, everybody. Good night.